Hey, Claudius, welcome to the show. Good to talk to you again. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Mike. It's good to talk to you again.
Yeah. The last time we chatted, it's been a while. Revelations of Oblivion hadn't quite been released yet. You guys had just released a couple of singles, and you're getting ready to release, and now here it is, a year and some change later. That time has flown by just insanely fast. That album really went on to do phenomenally well. I mean, we all knew it would do well, but I think it did better than anybody anticipated. What's your take on that?
I think it did really, really well. We're all really stoked about the outcome. Um, Gosh, it actually hit 11 on the US pop
I
charts.
saw that. Yeah, it cracked the Billboard, which was amazing, and it hit like I don't know 7 or 8 or something on the UK metal charts. Which on the UK side of things, I mean, they've kind of been known to support metal. I think on the mainstream a little bit longer, but to see that on Billboard and shit, yeah, that blew my mind. I remember opening up a feed and it's like cracked the top 10. I was like, holy crap, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
Yeah. The
Never thought.
that show for me, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but there's a funny story about that. So I was standing on the side of the stage by where Dan stands, and I get this message from Scott, and he's like, "Hey, can you come help out Emilio?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, what's up?" I go back there, and apparently the tapestry was hitting Emilio's cymbals and was muting his cymbals. So I played or sat the rest of the set back there behind his drum set, holding that fucking 200-pound tapestry back from his cymbals and watched the whole thing from back there. It was really cool, and feeling the pulse from that drum set just hitting me in the chest from behind it was just an absolutely insane experience. I don't think I'll ever forget that. That was pretty crazy.
That was an epic show. I mean, that's probably one of the craziest shows I've ever played because we had like six security guards on the front of the stage, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was no barrier, so the crowd was just on stage, and it was just insanity.
Yeah, and it was a
Yeah,
long set. I remember thinking, "Wow, how many songs are they going to play?" I mean, it was great as that tapestry got really heavy. But yeah, man, everything sounded great. That room sounded good. Everything about it sounded really good. And of course, Prophet killed it. You guys killed it. That was just a fantastic experience. And chatting with you and chatting with Paul, that was just really just a great all around time. It was like a little mini vacation for me. And I had never been
yeah,
to Oakland before. I was really surprised. It actually reminded me a lot of Seattle, kind of the way that area is kind of situated. It reminds me of downtown Seattle actually quite a bit. Beautiful area, great waterfront, kind of a happening joint. Definitely would love to get back there again and check that out in another capacity.
definitely. Yeah, great venue, Oakland Metro. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome place.
That video also for Graven, pretty badass. Peter Stormare, of course, being the super badass dude that he is. I remember talking. Now there was some kind of a documentary that he was going to be involved in. Now was that the 5-part thing that got released, or are we talking about two separate things altogether?
It's a separate thing altogether. It's going to be a full documentary
Okay, that's what I was
on
thinking.
the test and basically the story of Jeff Becerra. So
Yeah,
um,
and that hasn't come out yet.
really cool.
Then
Um, I don't know when it's going to come out. There's some kind of a holdup on it right now, but
sure. Well, there's a holdup on a lot of stuff right now, so not surprising. So, well, anyway, lots of cool stuff with Possessed. I just wanted to share those memories with you. That was pretty awesome. But really, today we're here to talk about your epic new project with Power Shift. So. You guys kind of came out of nowhere with this announcement, right? There was like a Facebook post, and then boom, there's a video single, and then all of a sudden people are like, where the hell did this come from? So, kind of tell us about how the project got started, how you guys all got together. I know that there's some history between some of y'all, and I know who's in the band, but why don't you just introduce everybody else that's in the band and kind of tell us how the whole thing came to be?
well, it was September last year. I just had all this music in my head, and I started writing and recording songs. And, I've known Greg for many, many years. I used to tech for Testament, and I was also Alex Skolnick's sub. So if Alex couldn't play, I would step in and play.
Right.
Um, and, the whole Dragon Lord thing with Eric Peterson. So that's
Sure.
kind of how I got into that. And so I've just known Greg for many years, and we've always talked about doing a project together, and that's kind of how this came about. And Jim Settle, the singer, I met him last year for the first time. Him and Greg were doing a podcast, and they asked me to come in and do the podcast with them. And Jim was just super cool, and he's a great singer. He's got a couple great bands he's in too, A Hand of Fire,
Yeah,
and Vengeance. So we just kept talking about it, and it's like, well, I have some songs written. Let's see what comes of it. So I sent them to Jim, and he sent back vocal tracks on it, and it sounded great. So we just started pressing on,
And this was something that you were writing music specifically, not Possessed material, like you just wanted to do something else as well.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because I like all different kinds of music. So typically what I would write would be more of a power metal vibe, right?
Right.
Like the Serpent and Seraph stuff, for example, more like that, So I just have, that comes out of me very easily. So I've just been writing these songs really quickly, and we are one song away from the full-length album being done.
Okay. So, yeah, great. I was going to ask you about that. So clearly, I think that the perception was that this was kind of like a, oh shit, here's COVID, we need something else to do project. But really, this has kind of been on the fire for quite some time.
Yeah, in a sense, yes. Actually, yesterday was going to be our very first show. But it got canceled, of course. It was going to be the Iron Mountain Metal Festival in Redding, California.
Yeah.
And it was going to, a whole bunch of bands. We were going to be main support for Vicious Rumors.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, that got canceled. So, but.
Yeah, so it goes. A lot of stuff's getting canceled. So, and of course, Greg's been on the scene for a very long time, and there's a lot of tie-in with the other guys in the band. Now, who's drumming for you currently?
Currently, I've actually got Gabe Sieber.
Okay.
From Sacramento. The Kennedy Vale. He's also toured with Abath and so many other, I think, just incredible bands. The guy's an unbelievable, amazing drummer.
Yeah.
We had Jason Borton from Jungle Rot. He was originally going to do it with us, but he had to. He had a lot of other things he had to deal with, life type stuff. So
personal commitments.
So I called up Gabe Sieber, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'll do it." So
right on.
That's where we're at.
So as far as the recordings go, are you having? Is there going to be two different drummers on the recordings, or have you been rocking with your current guy for a while now?
Well, we haven't actually worked with Gabe yet.
Okay.
All the recordings, Jason did 2 of the songs, and I've done the other 5. So between playing and programming, because I play drums as well. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I wound up doing, like I said, he did 2 of the songs, and I did the other 5 so far.
Right on. That's kind of like Todd LaTorre from Queensryche. Nobody really realized what an epic drummer this guy was, and then their new album comes out, and they're like, "Holy shit! Todd played drums on the album." So yeah, hey Emilio, watch out. Just saying. You got Plan B right in the house, right?
Yeah.
So you guys have
Yeah.
been you've been writing material for a while. You've got one song kind of left before you have quote unquote a full length album. So what stage? I mean, are we still in the rough recording stages now? Are you working with Juan as far as is he working on your album with you, or did he just do kind of the one single?
No, he's been mixing and mastering the whole thing. And what we've done is, as we complete a song, I send Juan the tracks. He mixes and masters it. So it's already mixed and mastered all the way up to 7 songs.
That's crazy. So as opposed to mixing the whole project at once, I assume that gives him the ability to really take his time then with each song and kind of work his magic. He's of course a legend in the metal industry for working with bands like Testament and Exodus and tons of others kind of out there in the world for a long time. So how did you get hooked up with him?
Oh man, I've known Juan forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
He actually he mixed our Tears of Nevaeh song
Oh,
for Serpent and Sorrow. Yeah, he mixed and mastered that and recorded Cass's vocals too.
that's awesome. So it was kind of just a
Yeah.
natural fit when you guys were getting ready to record. So you just reached out and said, "Hey, check this out! I got a new project going on."
Well, yeah, Jim Settle is actually best friends with Juan as well. So, you know, they hang out like every day. So it was kind of like no brainer, really.
Yeah,
We all know Juan. We've all worked with Juan for years, so it just kind of fell into place.
yeah. No, the mix sounds really good. He's got a very distinctive. I don't want to say formula, but his stuff is really tight, really percussive. It's definitely it still has that kind of old school vibe to it, but it has the all the polish you want of having a modern sound without it sounding, I don't know, producery, if that's a word. Doesn't sound
Produced, yeah.
yeah, overproduced. It doesn't sound like that at all. It's really tight. It's really awesome. So definitely looking forward to hearing what else you guys have coming out. Are you planning on releasing more singles before the album's done?
We've tossed around the idea of releasing another video.
Oh,
Um, so we might be doing that here soon. Um, yeah, I can't wait to get these songs out there because they're so killer and they're from the heart.
sure.
It's basically just let it fly. What's coming out of me. So I just more emphasis on songwriting and the song as a whole versus ah, you know um
That's a pretty good representation right there.
yeah. I mean, it's great. I love playing it fast and everything. I love all the technical death metal stuff. I love all that, but it's also nice to pull back and really focus on songwriting and not have to shred constantly.
Right, right, yeah. You guys, Possessed is pretty shred-tastic, that's for sure. So you're taking on kind of
Yeah.
the solo guitarist element, though. So you're doing the rhythms and the leads as the one guitar guy. Did anybody else come in and help out with any guitar tracks, or is that just all you?
Just me, yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Just
So,
me, and then of course Greg's recorded all his bass tracks. Greg's incredible.
yeah,
His tone is unbelievable, you know. So
yeah, he has a really awesome tone. He's also got that really what I consider to be a very unique style for metal players. It kind of has an almost jazzy, bluesy kind of a flow to it. He's definitely renowned as having a very unique style in the industry. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more from him. That bass mix on Survive is really cool too because you can hear all the instruments really well, and I think that his bass tone really kind of pops out in that too, which is killer. It's kind of an unfortunate thing that sometimes in the metal industry, with the wrong mix, sometimes the bass tends to get buried, especially if it's just doubling guitar tracks. But what's cool about Greg's style is that he doesn't really double guitar tracks, so it kind of really helps make it stand out quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's one of those guys where just by hearing who it is, that's Greg,
Yeah. So you guys released, "Survive" as the first single, and I guess off the air, you and I were kind of talking a second ago, regarding kind of the world and the state of things. Now, this track to me seems very politically driven. Am I reading into that wrong?
That track is like a representation of what's going on in the world right now.
Right.
And that's why we released that one first.
Sure.
Because like on the video, you literally see the rioting and the madness.
Sure.
So that's why we released that one first. Just because I think everybody can kind of relate to that song right now.
Yeah.
No matter what side of the spectrum they're on, you can, everybody obviously can see what's going on, and I guess it's just up to them how it makes them feel.
Yeah, it's up for your own personal interpretation. Do you think that the rest of the songs, I mean, do they all have their own separate ideas and separate themes? Is that just happens to be that song, and then the other songs are going to be totally different kinds of songs?
I would say they all have their own unique stamp. It's not all political. A couple of the other songs are really like love stories, actually, almost.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like one's kind of a bad relationship or a relationship gone wrong kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, it's they're all pretty unique in their own way.
Yeah, and who's doing the lyrics? Is this all a Jim thing?
Yeah, that's Jim. Yep. Yeah, he writes great lyrics.
Yeah, no, that video is very powerful video, and I'd be curious to see if you release another video, what else you guys have to say with that. So, is that something you think, is going to happen? Or are you teasing us with that, or is it something we can look forward to here in the pretty near future?
I could say look forward to it.
Right on. Yeah. So I guess
actually,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The one we're going to release next is really killer tune. You'll love it. But I actually sang the chorus on it, so it's like I'm actually singing on this stuff too with Jim. So it's really cool.
So you sang as kind of like as a background vocal, or you're singing the chorus?
I'm singing the chorus, yeah.
Oh my God, you just blew my mind, dude.
Yeah. So, and what's funny about that one is Jim was having a hard time with the chorus, right? So, he sent me all the words, and I go, well, let me mess around with it and see what I can come up with. So I laid it down and sent it to him, and he's like, oh, that sounds great. He goes, let's just do that. Like, really? Okay. So we just wound up keeping it, and it turned out pretty cool.
That's awesome. Part of the beauty, I guess, of having a home studio is that you've kind of got time to really lay out ideas, lay out tracks, try them, different mixes, different sounds, different, preamps and whatever. Yep. So plus just time to experiment. So I would have never in a million years expected to hear that. That's a pretty awesome announcement. What are the chances? Did you get a chance to get Cass involved in any of this? Is she doing any kind of background vocals or anything?
We tried to get her to. Jim was like almost begging her to, but she just. But here's a funny story. So we're down here in the studio, and we're practicing, and we're working on songs, and we're working on lyrics and vocals, and you can hear Cass upstairs singing the parts.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. So we're like listening. You could hear her singing it because, the real catchy stuff, right? So sure. She's singing the parts.
Jim's like, man, we got to get her to sing something, Well, give it a try. I mean, good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, she wasn't having it. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I get that. She's kind of got her own thing going on there. So, but hey, Cass, hope to hear you singing again sometime. So that's cool
Right.
though. You got some really cool material in the works. You're pretty far along on the project. What do you think? Just if you had to guess, I mean, is this something that we'll hear in like a full thing by the end of this year, or are we kind of getting into next year before you think we'll see a release on it?
Unfortunately, with the COVID thing, a lot of the labels aren't releasing until next year.
Sure.
Um, so my idea is get everything, all my ducks in a row, get this thing ready to just, once this does lift, I want to just come out swinging,
Yeah.
with the album, record deal, the whole bit, just ready to go.
Sure. Do you have
Um,
any kind of label interest or anybody biting on that, or is there somebody you're looking to work with that you're able to talk about?
well, I would really love to go with Nuclear Blast, of course.
Of course.
Great label. Love Nuclear Blast. I have not shopped it to nobody yet. So at this point, it's just still an independent thing we're doing ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, but I plan on having the product ready to go, and hopefully we can get picked up by Nuclear Blast would be my choice, of course.
Well, of course you've got a tie-in there, so that kind of makes sense. I meant to ask you about that last time too. So you like working with Nuclear Blast? I've heard that they're a fantastic label. Do they really support their artists in the way that I hear they do?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Awesome team. They're really on top of everything. Um, for example, with the Revelations of Oblivion, man, every day we had schedules of interviews and meetings, and we were all a part of like an app, and they just all day, all night,
Yeah.
the whole team just going. They're great.
I think that's
And it's
rare.
good to see that.
Yeah, it's really good to see that. I think that's kind of the perception right now with people and labels because the physical side of things has become challenging, especially with the current timeline. But with the shift to a lot of digital formats, I think the perception is that there's labels not really supporting artists. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I just think that's what people think. And then you have Nuclear Blast and Metal Blade and some of these other labels out there, Century Media, that really still go out of the way to support those artists. But it seems like those are kind of the exceptions to the rule these days.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so many people have a record label now out of
Yeah.
their house or whatever,
Right.
and the bands will go and spend their money to record the album and get everything in place, and then you know these labels will just put their stamp on it, and it's really I don't know if that's a good thing for either
Yeah.
party.
Well, it doesn't do anybody any good to have your stamp on a product that's not getting distributed, right? Or getting supported or getting promoted or, working and networking. And I think that's really where all the magic on some of the really good labels is that they really kind of work behind the scenes to make sure that the name is getting put out there. Because, like you said, nobody benefits if that stuff just sits in somebody's bedroom somewhere and doesn't get out to the world.
That's correct. Yeah, and that's just it. That's what I mean. With Nuclear Blast, for example, the PR team and the whole marketing. I mean, you figure this is all of our product, right? So the more you can get it out there, the more you can, blast it around the world, the better off you're going to be, no matter what. So
Yeah.
that's what a lot of these small labels seem not to do,
Yeah.
like you're just talking about.
Yeah, it's a struggle. Everybody wants to make their mark for sure. Well, I'm curious then,
Yeah.
when all is said and done, you get the album finished, mixed, mastered, signed, printed, out there to the world. Is this a project that is just a project, or are we talking like this is something that you guys are going to make it this is a band and we're going to move forward, all guns blazing, fire behind it. This is not just a current time project.
Right. Oh yeah. No, we fully intend on full blown, full scale. Of course, when I'm not doing Possessed,
Right.
if we're not touring or whatever, um, I'll have to keep a close eye on and actually work with Jeff as far as that goes.
Sure.
Because, obviously I can't, you can't do both at the same time, right? So,
right. Well, and Greg's, he's still doing Trauma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
you've got, there's quite a bit kind of happening, but and I assume then once everybody gets kind of back to normal, there's probably some Possessed stuff that's going to get picked back up for tours and whatnot. Is there anything in the works as far as officially for that?
Yeah, we had the North America Canada tour that canceled this year.
Yeah.
Um, from what I understand, that's going to reschedule 2022.
Holy shit.
So March of 2022. Yeah. So, I don't know, but I see a lot of Europe stuff opening, and going again. So, there could very well be something next year in Europe.
Yeah, Europe is man, those European shows they're pretty crazy. I mean, they promote that kind of music with the metal and especially the heavier spectrums of metal. I think more than any other audience out there, they really go crazy on that stuff. So I would not be surprised to see you guys hit Europe again. I would like to see more stuff on the West Coast here in the States because we don't get the love that the East Coast gets. I mean, yeah. California does all right, but you get up into Oregon and Washington, and I don't know, nobody likes us anymore. I'm like, come on, man, we gave you Sanctuary and Nevermore, right? We gave you Queensryche, we gave you Faustus. Give us some fucking metal up here in the Northwest. We're dying for it.
Yeah. Well, we all love all of you guys up there, and I definitely love to come up and play for you guys up there. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So what's next then? What are we going to hear from you next? Is this going to be the next thing we hear? Is going to be the new Power Shift single, or is there something else coming out that you're going to surprise on us?
It'll be a Power Shift thing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was saying, hopefully we can get this next video out here soon.
Yeah. And then
I really look forward to the whole album. Hopefully we can get picked up by a label and get that underway real soon. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would look forward to hearing that. In the meantime, now that you got a little bit of downtime, obviously you're busting your ass, writing music and keeping that element to your life together. What else are you doing? I mean, I've seen a couple posts. You guys go out there kind of motocross riding, dirt bike riding, get out there and do some outdoorsy stuff. What else do you like to do right now?
Man, Cass and I love to ride our dirt bikes.
Yeah.
And of course we go out in the kayaks on the lake, and also the Klamath River's right here as well. So we'll take our tubes and go tube the river, and
yeah,
Do
you guys go river rafting at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love whitewater rafting. My wife Marcia and I have been out there. Oregon, Idaho, Washington, kind of going down some pretty awesome rivers. Rogue River, Snake River, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I love the outdoors. You guys seem like very outdoorsy people, so I always like to see that kind of stuff. I haven't rode dirt bikes in a while, but we've gone on a couple of trips on the Harley, which is always fun. Kind of just get out, put the helmet on, nobody sees you. Just kind of riding out there anonymously. That's really cool. Do you guys do any kind of street bike riding as well?
No, we're just dirt bikes.
Go out there off the big jumps and ride on the tracks.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll hit some of the parks and stuff. There's one in Sacramento that we really like going to. It's called Prairie City.
Yeah.
Full scale motocross track and also trails. It's really nice. just go out and spend the day out there and just have a good time. Or here at the house, we just leave straight from the driveway, ride around the lake. We love to explore more than anything.
Wow, that's awesome. And you've also got, as we were saying before we hopped on, though. I mean, you're in your home studio right now. You've actually got I think you described it as a live venue. Do you actually have, when it's safe to do so, have you guys had like full-on shows there and things like that?
We have. We've had 3 shows here. We bought a house up by the Oregon border.
Okay.
That's where we up by the Oregon border, and I've met several of the local metal bands. So many great bands, and so I've had a couple of them play here at the house, just like local shows.
Yeah.
And we just have a good time,
And how did the neighbors respond? Are you far enough away from neighbors where they don't give you shit about it, or do you just invite the neighbors over and say, "Come have a fucking party with us"?
All are welcome, man. We've never had a complaint, but our neighbors are far enough away that I don't think it really, matters. But yeah, we'll do karaoke here all the time too, and just have a blast, and that's why we built it,
Yeah.
for our friends and family and the neighbors, whatever. You want to come have a good time? Come on over.
Right on. Well, hey, Claudeous, this has been absolutely awesome. I appreciate you kind of hanging out with me again here on Misery Point Radio. Always cool to talk to you. Anything else that you want to throw out there to the world before I let you get back to your morning church service?
Well, I just really hope that everybody's doing well during this horrible time. Everybody's safe, and loved ones are safe and healthy. I hope to get out and see everybody again real soon.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that we haven't heard the last of Claudeous on the immediate basis, so you guys stay tuned. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for Power Shift, and I'm sure we have some stuff coming here sometime in the very near future. Claudeous, thanks again, brother. Awesome to talk with you.
Thank you, Mike. Have a wonderful day.